Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, making some really good trades, and yep, let's just get into it because we do have some exciting BTC price action. As you guys can see, Bitcoin has been chopping sideways, doing absolutely nothing today. I'm just kidding. We did get a small pump up to that 382 fib retracement, and then we got basically another rejection, and we came all the way back down to our basically point of control right here, or the midpoint of where we've been chopping, which is basically $360 or $375 right now. Call it whatever you want. I'm currently in a bit of a small little trade right here on Bitcoin, as I believe we could potentially see some upside coming maybe tomorrow, as we do have some news coming at 10 a.m. We do have, I'll just pull it up here for you guys, we do have Fed Chair Powell testifying at 10 a.m. and then we don't have any more news for Tuesday, but on Wednesday we do have Jolt's job opening, and then we're going to have the Bank of Canada rate statement, which is going to be probably one of the first central banks that are going to be pausing their rate hikes, as you guys can see. So let's just see what happens in the coming days. Very exciting. Now we can see on Bitcoin, let's take a look at market cipher on that 4-hour time frame. We do have red money flow, but it is starting to curl back up, which is very nice to see. We did get a very big red diamond candle right here for Bitcoin, but actually did not amount to anything, and we actually ended up staying very flat and not much price action for Bitcoin, other than just pumping and dumping back down. But what I could potentially see coming for Bitcoin is a rally potentially to that 618 or that 786, which is basically where that 200-day moving average is on the 4-hour time frame. Again, Paul has actually been calling this out inside the Discord as well. So I was, in my mind, I was expecting either the 618 or the 786 to be tagged, and either target would be very nice, a very nice entry point for a Bitcoin short, as I do believe that if we do pump up here, I think we are ultimately going to come back down, retest this, and then we could potentially break back down to that 21. Oops, I'm just oh boy, I'm just typing all over the place here. I think we could potentially come back down to that $21,500 area, where we would retest it as support one more time and then start to come back up for another leg up towards the upside. And again, this is going to rely heavily on what the traditional markets are doing. And if the traditional markets can, overcome this short-term little resistance here, as we did get a bit of a doji candle today, we could see 4,100 in the short term. Again, let's just see how the markets take the J. Powell testimony as news, as the news is going to be coming out tomorrow. So let's see if it's positive news or negative news, or it doesn't really matter what we think. What matters is what the market thinks. And right now, the market really wants to be long, and the market really wants there to be no recession, and to be, the inflation to essentially go down and get out of the way, right? And for the time being, Bitcoin's just waiting on that news, and eventually we are going to get a pop either towards the upside or towards the downside. But again, I think I've reiterated many times my upside and downside targets for Bitcoin, but again, I'll reiterate them once again. Again, I got some support coming in at 21,400. Again, that's going to be some pretty strong support there for Bitcoin. As you guys can probably tell, we retested this as resistance, flipped it as support, and I expect it to be a support once again. Now, if we end up, breaking down and coming back up, then I think we are going to have a pretty good chance of either forming in a head and shoulder pattern here, right, where we could see, Bitcoin come back down and either form a head and shoulders, or we're going to, keep pumping towards the upside if the S&P gets a really big bid, and we're going to go to 26,600. We're probably going to take out this $25,000 resistance, as we've tagged it many times, and then we could potentially head up to higher highs. Now, if the markets take this as the news as very bearish, Bitcoin could start to break down to 18,500. That would be my most bearish target for Bitcoin, at which point I think we would get some strong support, and we could rally potentially back up from there. So again, those are my downside and upside targets for you guys. Let's take a look at wave edge here. I don't think we have anything coming in terms of any signals here for wave edge. Again, it's just chopping sideways. 12-hour, we don't have anything there as well. 4-hour time frame, again, we got a couple green crosses here, and then we got our pump up towards the upside, but ever since then, nothing there. And we can even take a look at the 1-hour time frame. We did get a bit of a red cross here, which was a potential short position, and actually played out beautifully. Again, these signals come in before the move comes, so again, you got a 1% drop there, but basically Bitcoin's just been chopping sideways, no real movement. What we can definitely see is that the money flow is starting to come back on Market Cipher, which is really nice to see on the 4-hour time frame. What you want to see is green money flow, and then you're primed to get another pump towards the upside, which is basically what you got here. You got that red money flow. We're just chopping sideways, and then when it was about to exit exit the red money flow and enter the green money flow, you guys got a big pump towards the upside, right? And that's what you want to see for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the indices today. All right, I think that's enough for Bitcoin. We did some good analysis there. For the indices, we got a nice pump today, and we actually ended up shorting this. I think I got stopped out in profit just now, not too long ago, which was unfortunate, but I can definitely re-enter my trade. What we're starting to see right here is a small inverse, not inverse, just a regular head and shoulders here, potentially forming on the 1-hour time frame. So let's just see. Again, you're gonna have basically your support coming in at 40,036 here for the S&P, and if you end up breaking it back down, then you could potentially head all the way down to most likely that $4,000 level, which would probably be the entire head here as a target. So let's just see if we do that. But if we don't, and we end up pumping up towards the upside, then you're going to see 4,100 or 40. Oh, did I just move the chart there? I'm not sure what I just did. All right. I think you'll see some resistance right around this major trend line that I have priced in here, right around 4,100, depending on when you make contact, 4,108. Basically, this major trend line is going to be your next point of resistance. Now, again, you guys get access to all these charts once you become gold members. You guys get access to all these charts 24/7, and you get access to all my trades in real time, in which, by the way, we closed another 30% winner on the weekend, and we are actually in a trade right now, which we're in slight positive gains. We're up about 10%, nothing too crazy. And let's take a look at the Russell 2000 today, which actually was the only index that had a really big down day. It was actually down 1.48%, so not too good there. And again, let's take a look at the TLT, right? Because the TLT versus the S&P is a leading indicator of what the markets could be doing. And right now, let me just pull this up here. There we go. Let's just pull this up here. There we go. That's much better. So you guys can see that the TLT has been a leading indicator for what Bitcoin and what the markets are going to be doing. You can see when the TLT starts to dump, while the indices are rallying up towards the upside. It always ends up that the S&P and the equities correct with TLT. And you guys can see the exact same thing happen here just recently. We were rallying while TLT was basically flat. And finally, TLT started dumping towards the downside, right? And then we had another nice correction in the S&P of about, let's just do a tiny little bit of a measured move, about 5% correction. Now we're starting to rally pretty heavily once again, getting a big bounce. That big technical bounce that we just got from basically the breakout, and that we're basically almost retesting that trend line as support, but we didn't retest it just yet. But overall, you can see we're rallying very nicely, but the TLT is still dropping towards the downside. It's not making any upside moves here. So again, this could be another false move in the market, so just be very aware of that and keep that in mind when you're making your trades. And again, let's take a look at what the bond yields are doing. Again, the bond yields got another bounce from this level, from the point of breakout, a very strong bounce, I would even say. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if yields start heading higher during the Powell testimony tomorrow, which would be very bearish for the markets. Maybe we see another dump towards the downside, then a pump back up. Who knows? Let's just see what Powell has to say tomorrow during the Fed testimony. Again, DXY getting a bit of a down day today, which was probably why we pumped up so much. But I think the the bond yields really pushed the markets back down, with yields coming back up. All right, I think that's enough for that. Let's take a look at nat gas. Holy smokes, what a gap down here on natural gas. Again, thank God we took profits on our second position in oil. Again, right now we just retraced the move all the way down to that 50% retracement. Again, I have some targets here around the 618 and 668, which is really close to that support right around $2.40. So I wouldn't be surprised if we come all the way down here and start to get a nice little bit of a bounce. But again, let's just see how everything plays out. Let's be patient and let the trades come to us. Again, if you guys want access to my trades, links in the description. And if you guys want to help support the channel as well, you guys can feel free to sign up for Bitget Trading, which is where I do all my crypto trades as well. Let's take a look at oil. Oil getting a nice bid today, coming up towards the upside, running into some resistance. Once again, like I said, this area is going to act as resistance, and exactly that. Let's take a look on the shorter time frames. On the 1 hour time frame, we ran right into it and we got rejected slightly. Now we're getting a nice up thrust and we actually broke past it. Let's see if we can hold this level as support. If we can't hold it, then we are going to come back towards the downside. So don't be surprised if oil starts to dump tomorrow. All right, that's good for there. Let's take a look at gold and silver today. Again, a bit of a down day once again, as the DXY actually started to make some grounds back up near the end of the day, and the equities started dumping as well, which probably, you know, gold tends to follow what the equities do as well, unless the dollar's really in a free fall and inflation's really high, then the gold will probably start soaring and the equities will fall. But yeah, that's your market recap for you guys. Thanks for listening, and again, if you enjoyed the channel, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, and if you guys want to join the Discord, become some free members as well. You guys get access to free trades, right? I do post free trades every now and then, like I did today on the S&P, but unfortunately that one was stopped out, but it was stopped out in profit. All right, thanks for listening, guys. Love you guys. Peace.